Hello, everyone, and welcome late on a Friday night. I am Ol'Ed Ed Fries, and I'm joined by my tag team partner on Wrestle Draft, Mr. Chris Perish. Perish, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing good. That was an exciting episode of SmackDown to get us going. If I didn't already know what was going to happen for most of it, because you know I hate it when TMZ is more important than just airing SmackDown live at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Hello to my other tag team partner, live from Miami, Florida, the one Astrid Pizarro. Astrid had her panel today. She said it went great. I hope to see stuff from it, if we can, in the near future.
Yeah. Let us know in the comments how was it? How nervous were you?
Yeah.
Because but we know you killed it because you always kill it. You always do a great job.
She's
We
the
know you do
natural.
that. Yeah.
She's the natural. She does great at everything she does.
Stars don't break, all right? They shine, and that's what you do, Astrid. You shine. But yeah. Also, I mean, it was a good go home show
Yeah, it
on
was a really good
SmackDown,
go home
so
show.
you can't really argue too much about what we saw. Obviously, it just wants to gear you up for the PLE that is tomorrow afternoon.
17 hours away.
Yeah.
Well, a little less than 17 now, but yeah.
And yeah, we're here to preview Money in the Bank and give you our take on what we think is going to happen with little predictions. And we always like to have fun by kind of putting what we think the order of the matches are. And right away. And
But
Astrid
before we
saying
get... Oh, sorry.
she has to catch up on SmackDown.
Yeah. There's a little bit to catch up on. There's some things
A
here
little
and
bit.
there. But before we get to talking about SmackDown and before we get to talking about the show tomorrow, how are we going to get through that show tomorrow? By using Rogue Energy. And you can go to rogueenergy.com and use the promo code OLEPODS to get yourself 10% off your order. Rogue Energy is fantastic. It's a natural version of an energy drink.
Mhm.
It has less sugar than the other energy drinks. More important, it has great flavors. My favorite, the watermelon. Mel's flavor is that blood orange. I know Parrish bounces back and forth between a few different flavors that
I'd
are
like to
his
try them
favorites.
all, especially the new one, strawberry mango that they just dropped.
There we go. And what flavors are out of stock last you checked, Mr. Parrish? I know you're always on top of
They
that.
just actually restocked a bunch, so they don't actually have a lot of out of stock, but
There you go.
doesn't mean you need to wait. So make sure you go there. And guess what? On top of that, you can use the promo code OLEPODS and save yourself 10%. But right now, you can also use the promo code BOGO50 if you want to buy 2 tubs and save get the second one for 50% off. So they have a lot of great stuff going on. We encourage you to use ours, but at the same time, we're honest people. And if you want to use that one, go right ahead. But you are helping us, and we appreciate that.
Yeah. I mean, it's always good to save people money when and where we can.
Yeah.
But, Energy Olay is sponsored by Rogue, and you know what? It helps us get through our day. There's a bunch of us that use Rogue to get through these hard days, especially my Wednesdays are getting a little bit tough. These back-to-back nights where we got a night show and a day afternoon wrestling, while I love them to death and I wouldn't trade them for the world, it can get a little tiresome sometimes. A lot of content to put out there.
It is. And just also want to plug if you guys are planning on watching Money in the Bank, come check me out on over on my Twitch at the Chris Parish, as I will be doing a live reactionary watch along with some friends. And if you're still interested, please message me and we can set something up. Already confirmed is obviously myself, our own Chris Best, Joshua Joseph, the voice, who just launched an amazing interview with Buff Bagwell today. So go check that out. And then also, you may have heard of this guy, but Mark Talks Wrestling. UK's own is going to
Yeah.
join us as well. So, yeah, if you want to join up, let me know. We can set things up.
Yeah, it's a great time. All the links will be down here for right now. But for right now, let's go ahead and get into the show. And what do we think is going to open the show, Parrish?
Well, you know what? You got to start with the bang. I mean, obviously, when we play Wrestle Draft, you want to get that curve going up. So you got to start with the bang. And I'm going to, you know what? What better bang is there than the men's money in the match our Money in the Bank ladder match.
Yeah. I mean, this is the most bang for your buck that you're going to get out of this. You get 7, count them, 7 individuals in this match. You've got Damian Priest, Butch, Santos Escobar, the Megastar, Logan Paul, the Megastar, L.A. Knight. Yeah.
Yeah.
You've also got Shinsuke Nakamura, who, by the way, I don't know what a little Uzi Vert is, but he just released a collaboration or such with WWE where he has new lyrics over the top of Shinsuke Nakamura's entrance theme. It's fantastic. I've been listening to it all day, but I still don't know what a little Uzi Vert is, so if people should tell me, that'd be great. And also, Ricochet's there. Ricochet might have lost his woman to Rhea Ripley, if you've been watching Twitter today. But
oh my God, is she just hilarious lately?
If you haven't seen that video, it's great. Go look for it. It's fantastic. You've got Rhea Ripley seducing Samantha Irvin ringside. Oh, it's fantastic. The whole thing on Twitter with Kathy Kelly and Ricochet and Rhea and it's just chef's kiss. But let's get into this match, Perish. What do you think is going to happen in this match?
You know what? I am very interested in this match because we got a few things that can happen here. I mean, we can have that kind of a reoccurring spot like we saw at the Royal Rumble, which I very much am very happy I saw live between Ricochet and Logan Paul. You might see a second coming of that. Or you can see something like a Butch just taking the violence to everyone as all he wants to do is just fight and punch Logan Paul in the face. But can you really blame him? Or maybe there's Santos Escobar there fighting with the heart and the passion and the pride of his Latino world order as he wants to become the men's champion while his counterpart Zelina Vega becomes that women's counterpart. We have B4 Bailey 91 coming in. Too much sports PR available for WWE to not go with Logan Paul. Actually, you can. And as the betting odds right now are going, LA Knight is the current favorite to win. However, I think what's really interesting is we have someone that has not had any sort of conflict with anybody in this match, and that is Damian Priest, and it's very curious on why he's being held away from everyone leading into this match. He might be the one who might be the most dangerous in this match. Butch might be the most unpredictable.
Yeah.
Ricochet might be the most desperate, whereas Santos might be the most competitive. Logan Paul and LA are going to be the most egotistical, while Shinsuke is going to probably be the most humble in this match. I think LA Knight is your best favorite to win. However, I'm going to go with the dark horse that I said before, Damian Priest, because I think he stands to benefit the most out of a Money in the Bank, because I don't think LA Knight I'm not going to say deserves it. I don't think he needs it. If you heard that pop tonight on SmackDown, I think he'll be just fine without a briefcase.
So here's the thing. Let's be honest. This match has 7 people in it. There are only 3 people who are going to win. Like, let's be brutally honest. There's only 3 people who are going to win.
Well, actually, only 1 is going to win. But yeah, I understand that there's 3 that... But I mean, it's also money...
legitimate... I get it, it's Money in the Bank. But let's be honest. Triple H isn't like Ricochet enough.
Nintendo won it before.
Yeah, But Ricochet ain't going to win this. He ain't sniffing that world title anytime soon. Shinsuke Nakamura might, but I doubt it. I wouldn't even consider him. I love Santos Escobar. I love the LWO. But no. Butch... WWE doesn't do enough of putting people over in their hometown to make Butch a legitimate favorite. Although I think it'd be fun to see him, the maniacal little, Scrappy-Doo being held on a leash by Sheamus, to have that briefcase and, have Sheamus stopping him from cashing in week on week, I think would be hysterical. But I don't think it's going to happen.
And we got to also mention that in this year, the new wrinkle of Money in the Bank is that you can cash it in on whatever title of your choosing. It's
Yep.
not just designed now for the men and women's respective world titles or heavyweight championships. Um, but just imagine the possibility if Butch is to win and he is then to break the reign of the Intercontinental Champion Gunther for that Intercontinental title match as a hey, you took away my UK title kind of a thing.
Yeah.
A lot of things and a lot of certain circumstances can appear in this match, especially with the LWO meeting the Judgment Day again with Santos and Damian. There's no love lost between those two. But I think you're right. When it comes to who really is going to be that neck and neck on there, it has to be LA Knight. It has to be Logan Paul.
And it has to be Damian Priest.
It has, you know what? I just can't count out Butch though. I think knowing that Triple H is such a big Pete Dunne / Butch guy, I don't think you can throw it past Triple H to want to see Butch get that gigantic push coming next, especially.
Here's the problem. Every creative decision that Triple H wants to make has to be run past the old man.
No, it's the
Yes.
other way
No,
around.
it's
now.
not. It is not the other way
He
around.
does not have final say anymore.
He has
Nope.
final say over
Nope.
everything.
Not with the sale that we just saw that has already been kiboshed. He does not have the final say. He has input.
No, he has the final say and approves every creative decision. Some he doesn't fight, but every creative decision still goes through the old man now because of the new position he holds in the company. While Triple H is the chief content officer, he has to run things by McMahon. That's why scripts
Khan
get
already
changed.
say that he has input,
No.
but he does not have final say?
No, Nick Khan has never said that.
I'm pretty sure that he did come out and say that he does not have final say anymore.
No, it is absolutely not the case. The old man has final say over everything right now because what are they called? Encom, whoever it was that bought it.
Endeavor,
that's the one. End something. Put him in charge to make sure.
Encom, it's not Tron, man.
They made sure to put somebody that they thought had the best interests of the business at heart because they don't know the business. Now, while I think Triple H is going to be able to get 99% of his decisions through, I don't think Butch having the briefcase is going to be that decision. And I also don't think Triple H would die on that hill. Because we have...
I think he would.
We have LA Knight, who is the people's choice. Let's be honest. The people want LA Knight.
Okay, but then to also counteract with this, though, LA Knight also just recently admitted that he almost got fired by the old man.
Agreed.
So if that's the case, the old man wouldn't want him. So if LA Knight is to win, you have to assume Triple H pushed for it because he's the one who, at the end, saved the job of LA Knight.
I agree. I wholeheartedly agree because the old man made him a manager. I mean, I've watched that interview. He made him a manager. We got Nubenko jumping in saying, I'm going with LA Knight. I'd love to go with LA Knight.
Can we give Noob a shout out for always giving us a shout out there on the Twitter? Always just
every Monday,
telling
every
people
Friday.
to come check us out every time a busy wrestling weekend comes in. So Noob, just from OLE side, we definitely want to say thank you. We appreciate you. And hopefully you enjoy Money in the Bank tomorrow.
Like I said, I love LA Knight. I think he would be so entertaining with that briefcase. But like Bailey said before Bailey said, it's so hard to go against Logan Paul because even if he loses with that briefcase, the fact that he can bring that briefcase everywhere and anywhere and have it on display and making sure that it gets its name out there, that's such a big PR availability. Plus, let's be honest, he's earned the ability. We watched that Roman Reigns match. We've watched his match with Seth Rollins. We've watched his matches with The Miz and Rey Mysterio. This guy can go in the ring. There's no reason he can't have that briefcase. And by not being there, people are like, well, then you don't see the briefcase on television every week. You don't. And that, I think, could be great for the Money in the Bank briefcase. Because the moment you hear his music and see him pop up on TV, whether he's cashing in or not, all of a sudden, all the questions are, oh my God, is he going to cash in right now? That could make for some great television. But again, I agree with you. At the end of the day, I think Damian Priest walks away with this briefcase.
Yeah.
Because he's the perfect person to have this briefcase.
I'm just going to say this, though. Where does Logan Paul take this briefcase that the machine WWE can't?
I think to the millions of people who support and watch Logan Paul's content, we're not going to talk about DPs tonight. No.
Astrid.
Talking about Damian Priest, no DP. You save that chat for your Florida SuperCon.
Yeah.
But no,
what happened in that panel, Astrid?
Hey, women are wrestling. Women are wrestling.
I know.
But no, the places that Logan can take it are movie premieres that Logan gets to go to, whether he's in the movie or not. He's a megastar to that level where he goes to these places and he takes it there, and he gets on places like TMZ, and he has that weekly show on his own YouTube channel that does hundreds of thousands of millions of views every week, which is Impulsive. There is a crowd of people that WWE doesn't reach that Impulsive does. Whether I like it or hate it, he has reach beyond the machine of WWE, even within him and WWE's combined working relationship. There are people in that Impulsive crew that can help get that title over. He can bring it to Jake Paul's UFC fights.
But nobody watches those.
You'd be surprised. And honestly, with Jake Paul doing UFC and Endeavor having bought WWE, that partnership is a lot closer now.
Well, we've already seen Jake Paul on WWE. So
we have once. In a match that I really wanted to see that we're not going to see anymore, and I'm really sad about. Because I wanted to see the Paul brothers get their asses kicked.
Everyone wants to see the Paul brothers get their ass kicked. There is no doubt about that.
I agree.
I was also going to...
Well, except for Astrid, because Logan Paul is, of course, Astrid's favorite Puerto Rican wrestler.
I mean, but I was also going to counter the thing of, if nobody wants to see Logan Paul cash in a Money in the Bank, I'm going to also say they have somebody within their own company already that nobody wants to even hear this guy speak, and we'll talk about him later in Dominic Mysterio. He would have been a better in-house option for Heat to have this than I think Logan Paul. I don't think Logan Paul's even scratched the surface of what Dominic Mysterio is capable of doing, as Astrid has now learned that she opened up a forbidden door that even Tony Khan can't get himself out of. But that's nor here nor there. But yeah, I mean, I think Money in the Bank is going, and we got to remember, this is Triple H's first go around with Money in the Bank.
Yep.
He's going to have a complete investment in this, a lot more than I think people are aware of. Look at all of the NXT representatives in this match, and I do believe we're going to get one of the heart of the NXT competitors with that Money in the Bank briefcase, because at the end of the day, he's a traditionalist, Triple H is, and I know he's going to give it to a traditional everyday pro wrestler, not somebody like Logan Paul. Nothing against Logan Paul. I'm jealous of how good he is. I just don't think he needs this, because I don't think the Money in the Bank is what they want on every show, opposed to maybe a championship.
Yep. Asher says her next choice would be Santos Escobar, but she'd love for Damian or LA Knight to win. Like I said, at the end of the day, I think Damian wins. The bigger question is our prediction for the next year. Will the men's Money in the Bank winner cash in and win the championship that they cash in on?
I think if Damian Priest wins it, actually, let's go right through the list. Let's actually just run through the list, though. If Ricochet wins, do you think he cashes it in and wins a title? Because it doesn't have to be the World Heavyweight title.
No.
I could see him winning it and winning the tag titles with Braun Strowman when he comes back because of the year.
If he comes back.
Yeah. Logan Paul, I don't think he, even if he wins it, I don't think he wins a title. I think it's just him having it is the win right there.
Yep.
Shinsuke Nakamura, 100%. I think if he wins the title because that's probably the last time you see him with an important title in WWE.
If Shinsuke wins, the only title I see him winning with it is the NXT Championship.
Man, you were totally. That would have been the best thing if you said the only title I see him winning would be Intercontinental. That would have been so picture perfect.
It would have, but it's not.
I know.
Honestly, I don't think that there's anybody who takes that belt off Gunther until they're ready. And honestly, I can see Gunther walking in with 2 titles at WrestleMania. To be honest, I don't see him losing.
If Santos wins, I do not see him winning a title. I know it's weird, but
you know what? I'll say yes for Santos. I think I could see him winning the U.S. title.
I just don't think Santos is in a position where he's going to do that and only go for a mid-card title. I think if you want him to do anything, you want him in that title picture with somebody like a Roman Reigns or even Seth Rollins. Butch, yes, on both accounts.
Yep,
100%. Damian Priest, absolutely. LA Knight, absolutely. And I think when you can say yes to both, I think they're strong contenders for this match.
I could see. Here's the thing. I could see LA Knight cashing in this title and winning a world championship, as long as it's after Roman loses the undisputed championship on SmackDown. Because I think as long as Roman holds that championship, I don't think there's anybody who takes it except the person they want to win it.
Here, I'm gonna pose something for you. Imagine Roman Reigns heads into WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia, still champion. He goes up again. Just hear me out. He goes up against, say, Cody Rhodes, and they revisit this, and Cody Rhodes finally gets that win, finally wins that championship. Mm-hmm. And then Logan Paul cashes in on Cody to take that away from. That is the only time I could see Logan Paul doing it. Outside of that, in the words of LA Knight, nah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. Like, I don't think that there's a world where Logan Paul doesn't win. Like, I think
crowd nonetheless, dude.
I think Logan Paul could win a championship with the Money in the Bank. I don't think they will do it. No. I think he could. I think he could have a good enough match and stick around long enough to have a feud, to go ahead and have a feud or two for the championship. I'll be honest with you. I don't think whoever wins any of the Money in the Banks actually cashes in successfully. On either side, men or women's. I think we're having 2 failed cash-ins this year.
I would put a lot of other people's money up against that.
Time will tell. Like I said, I'd love Damian Priest to cash in and win a world championship. I would. I really would. But I think if you get... Damian Priest is already in that... They've finally made the move to put Damian Priest in the world championship picture. I mean, honestly, for the first time, we have a faction where all the members of the faction are world championship caliber wrestlers. That including the guy who I want to see get beaten down every single week because he has the most punchable face in wrestling. And no, not Logan Paul. That's Dominic Mysterio.
I was so kind of hoping you were going to say somebody else in there, and I think that would have been funny. But
no, he's gonna lose against Seth later. Don't worry.
Nonetheless, we talked a lot about this match. I know this next match we're not going to talk a lot of because I don't think the match is going to go any more than 9 minutes.
You'll be lucky if it gets 9.
Yeah, I know. I do think matches are going to get time tonight. All right, in this show, though, that's for sure. But I'm going to go with the next match coming in, and that is the Women's Tag Team Championship. Shayna Baszler, Ronda Rousey versus Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. I just don't see how you take the titles off the people that just unified them right now. I think that's silly. Even though I can't stand Ronda Rousey, it's just silly. And I wouldn't be shocked if we see somebody on the babyface side turn on their partner.
I mean, you mean Raquel. Raquel turn on Liv because
I can see Liv turning on Raquel.
I desperately need Raquel to have some personality. You know how Raquel gets personality? She turns heel. Because when she was in NXT as a heel, she was great. When she was NXT as a babyface, she's awful. This girl needs to be a heel. That being said, there's no... as Vince McMahon would say, there's no chance in hell that Shayna Baszler and Liv Morgan... Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey... Shayna Baszler and Liv Morgan sounds like a wrestle draft thing that we would have done. Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey lose these championships. There's no chance in hell.
Hey, in fairness, I had Raquel with Rhea, not Ronda. Yeah. I had a different double R. Yeah. A lot of double R's on the women's side. Let's just point that one
There
out.
really are. Noob says Shayna and Ronda are winning. I agree. Yeah. Do we want to just move on to another match that we're actually going to talk about and enjoy?
Let's just say who pins who to win this match before we do. Or submits who.
I was going to say, I think Liv submits to Ronda and then Raquel turns on her. And because I know Ronda and Liv want to keep working together. So I have a feeling that's where we're going to keep going beyond this, which is fine. Because I know they want to make up for what some people felt was a bad feud before when Liv won the Money in the Bank and cashed in. Ronda didn't feel like that lived up to what she and Liv thought could happen.
Well, it's because Ronda sucks. But, I mean, that's beside the point.
But I know both of them think that they can have better matches and do a better job. And honestly, I mean, fine. Yeah. If it gets Liv Morgan on my TV screen, fine. Like, I love Shayna Baszler. I think she's got all the talent in the world.
And to me, that this is exactly where I think if they are to build...
Isn't she on SmackDown? I'm pretty sure she's on SmackDown.
Well, so... Yeah, but the
I'll
women's...
look it up. Yes, but she's not going to be the women's tag team champion, so it's not going to matter.
Raquel and Rhea, I think, could be. But, I mean, I have no idea. I think Raquel's on Raw, Rhea's on SmackDown. No, Rhea's on Raw. They're both on Raw.
Hold on. Raquel's on Raw?
Yeah. Remember, the tag champs can go to any brand.
Yes, but they're not going to be the tag champs.
No. But I'm saying this is how this match happened because the tag champs can go to any brand, whereas Liv and Raquel, I think, are both on Raw.
Yes, they were drafted for Raw. Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, and I truly believe Raquel will be a heel against Rhea. I truly believe that. I think the fans will choose Rhea over Raquel. 100%.
The fans are going to choose Rhea over Life if she were... Never mind. We're not going to finish that.
Yeah. Asher coming in saying, I wonder if the Unholy Union would make their presence known to get a rematch. I hope so.
I think it'd be fun in the UK to pop the crowd since they're both from Wales to do that. I don't expect... I'm sorry, not Wales, Scotland. Oh, God. The UK people are going to yell at me. Oh, God. They're from Scotland. So... But no, I don't think... I think it'd be fun, but I don't think they're going to. I don't think they made the trip.
I think this won't happen simply because I think there's another Scotsman that's going to return at Money in the Bank.
I'd be willing to put money against that, but... Well, at least other people's money. I don't have money on my own to put against it.
Right? I mean, it's all about other people's money. Anyway, we're both in agreement. Shayna and Ronda.
Shayna and name redacted,
yeah. The next match I have here, I think, is going to be a banger of a match, and that is the Intercontinental Championship between the soon-to-be longest-reigning Intercontinental Champion Gunther against the original bro Matt Riddle for their Intercontinental Championship.
Sorry, we couldn't get a good render of this for some reason, so the render's a little blurry. We apologize.
You know what? It is what it is.
I'm just saying, the render, we couldn't find a really good one to get here. This is going to be a hell of a match. While Matt Riddle's done a lot of things in his personal life that make me go, ew, Matt Riddle's in-ring talent makes me go, yay. This is going to be a really fun match. Gunther is going to beat the ever-living shit out of him. The numbers game will be too much, and Gunther will win.
Riddle's also going to take it to Gunther. Let's not kid ourselves. They are going to kick the crap out of each other, and I'm here for it. In fact, I even think this is going to bring out Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, as we've seen them and the other two members of Imperium, Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci, get involved as well. So I would not be against them coming out to help Riddle, who gets attacked 3-on-1 after the match when Gunther defeats Matt Riddle, because there's no way the original Bro is winning the Intercontinental Championship right now.
Not this week. Newman Co jumping in, Gunther winning just to embarrass Riddle more.
I do think this is a dark horse for match of the night, though.
I don't think it needs to be that much of a dark horse, but yeah.
Well, I think a lot of people are just expecting the men's Money in the Bank match to be a banger. I think a lot of people are going to expect the men's tag match to be awesome, and I do think a lot of people are looking forward to Seth and. I think
there's a lot of bangers on this card.
I just think people might be overlooking this match because of what else is on the card, because this is a wicked card.
I was gonna say, I'm like, it's hard to really like. There's no, other than the women's tag team title match, there's no stinker on this card. And
I will say this: if that match ends up being good and decent, this is going to be potentially one of the better PLEs WWE puts out this year.
Yeah. It'll be rivaling probably what, Backlash and Night of Champions?
I mean, really, have they done a bad PLE this year?
No.
Yeah. I rest my case.
Triple H hasn't put out, I don't think Triple H has put out many bad PLEs since he's been in charge. This is gonna be a banger. People are gonna get bloodied, people are gonna get beaten up, you're gonna see red marks all over everybody, they're gonna get all kinds of welts. And at the end of the day, Gunther's going to win because Gunther wins LOL.
Yeah. Gunther. Now, here's the thing. Does Gunther win with the power bomb or does he win with the splash?
The power bomb, I guess? I don't know. I think he hits the splash. I don't think it works, so he goes to the power bomb. But it could be vice versa. I mean, he could win it with a suplex for all I know. Like, this dude can win it with everything.
I'm guessing he's going to win it with the powerbomb off the top rope.
Maybe?
Yeah.
It could be anything. This guy is so good, it really doesn't matter what he does.
Yeah. Anyway, next up, I got the other Money in the Bank ladder match here. I got the women's Money in the Bank match here, as we have Io Sky versus Trish Stratus versus Zoe Stark versus Bayley, who retained her spot tonight on SmackDown after defeating Shotzi, versus the Lena Vega versus the man Becky Lynch.
This is a 2-horse race for me, to be brutally honest. It's a 2-horse race. It's either Io Sky or Becky Lynch.
You don't think Trish Stratus could pull this one out?
Nope.
Why?
I think putting the Money in the Bank on Trish Stratus is an even more unreal, stupid idea than putting the Money in the Bank on Ricochet. I think there is zero reason that Trish Stratus needs to have something that can guarantee her a title shot. She has the Money in the Bank by just being named Trish Stratus. She can get a title match whenever her heart desires, with whatever champion she desires, just by saying, I'm doing it. I think Becky Lynch, the only reason why I even think Becky Lynch potentially wins this is because I think they want it to round out her resume. They want her to have as many accomplishments and as many of those accolades as they can, like Asuka. If Becky Lynch wins this, she joins Asuka as the only people to have essentially won everything there is to win in WWE, with the exception of, for Becky, the NXT Championship.
I mean, okay, say that again, though. I just want to make sure I process that properly.
Yeah. If Becky Lynch wins this, she'll have won the Raw Championship, the Women's Championship before it became a brand central one. She'll have won the SmackDown Women's Championship. She'll have won the Women's Tag Team Championships. She's a former Royal Rumble winner. And she's main evented WrestleMania. The only thing missing on her resume is Miss Money in the Bank, which Asuka already has.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna put. I think you got to put Bayley in that position too, because she's won Money in the Bank. She hasn't won a Rumble. She's done. I think Bayley is just right up there with accomplishments. They're just different ones. I don't think Bayley wins. I think this confirms the breakup of Io and Bayley. I think that's what this match is going to be there for. And by default, I'm actually canceling both of them out.
Okay.
I think Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus are going to try to cancel each other out in here.
Mm-hmm.
I think Zoe Stark's a wild card for Trish Stratus. And I think this match could be designed for Zoe Stark winning this match only to hand the briefcase over to Trish. In her own words of saying thank you.
I can see that.
I think this is a huge, huge opportunity to catapult somebody that nobody thinks. Io Sky.
You want to go with Zelina Vega?
No, hear me out. I didn't say this is my prediction. Oh. I think this is a great time to pull the trigger on Zelina Vega. Whether or not they do it, could not tell you. New Covenant saying Io Sky is going to win because Asuka doesn't need a feud away from Charlotte Flair and Bianca Belair. I 100% agree with you indicating that Charlotte Flair and Bianca Belair are going to go and feud. 100% agree. I think that's the match at SummerSlam right there.
Yeah.
Asuka and Io has been teased. I think everybody wants to see it. Yeah. I think
Io Sky wins this. I don't see any. I see the idea that her and Bayley cancel each other out. I think this ends with that Lion King moment. I think Io's climbing the ladder and Bayley tries to stop her and says, no, for me. And Io gets one step down and then palm strike to the face. And Bayley goes tumbling down to the canvas and looks up as Io Sky wins this match.
I'm not against that. I actually would love to see Io Sky win this match. I just think with her being on the same brand as Asuka. So are they not on the same brand?
Yeah. They
don't need a Money in the Bank necessarily. They can make that organic.
Yeah, I think you use the Money in the Bank as a secondary way for Io to win the championship.
I do think they could be going to Ronda and Becky after Becky and Trish. So on that point, I don't think you're gonna have Becky win this because organically you can go there. I think this is a time where you have Zoe Stark or Trish Stratus win. I'm gonna go with Trish Stratus winning. I don't think anybody's gonna see it coming.
Yes, we're referencing The Lion King. Absolutely, we're referencing The Lion King.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic movie, and all of wrestling should be built off of it. No, I don't think Logan Paul was ever intended to be in the men's match until Logan Paul said, "Hey, I'm gonna go to London. Do y'all want me in the match?" And they went, "Well, sure, fine."
This was something I was kind of surprised they didn't do because they added a seventh men entrant. So I was kind of shocked they didn't because I thought Bianca would have made a lot of sense. However, I don't think they will. If let's play devil's advocate and they do last minute, it has to be the only possible person it could be, and it won't, would be Sasha Banks, and it just won't be. It just won't be.
I could see them doing it for Charlotte. like they did for Theory, like they did for
Brock.
Like I could see Charlotte. I could see Charlotte being like, look, you promised me Bianca wouldn't get involved in my title match. Bianca got involved in my title match. I want to be in Money in the Bank. I don't think she wins anyways. I really think it's down to a 2-horse race, and it's what WWE wants to do. I love the idea of using Money in the Bank to catapult a new star.
Mm-hmm.
I would be so happy to be wrong and see Zelina Vega sitting on top of that ladder holding that championship. Astrid would be bawling her eyes out. I'd be sitting there laughing hysterically. That being said, it ain't happening.
I think you're not that far away and far removed from gearing up to the Royal Rumble of 2024. I know I've heard Raquel Rodriguez's name being rumored to win that. I think it's better to have Io Sky win that.
I think Io Sky can get a championship match whenever her heart contents, whenever they decide to do it. She's built herself up enough to do it. I think she has the feud with Bayley coming, where they break up Damage Control, and she goes on her own. And I think babyface Io versus Asuka makes a whole lot of sense. But I think having that briefcase and being a world championship contender isn't necessarily mutually exclusive. I think you can do both. You can be a world championship contender to get a title shot and still have the briefcase as an in-case glass breaks, cash in when I want it.
Yeah.
Especially with a babyface who's trying to get a heel to fight her.
So something that I kind of just thought of, and I wouldn't be against this either. What if Bayley is to win? And hear me out on this. What if Bayley wins and she just uses this the first 2-time women's Money in the Bank because she doesn't count Carmella in that crap because technically that was a replay of a match, not a second one, even though it was the second one. And that's when Io turns on Bayley when she cashes in. They use this as, okay, Bayley becomes the first woman to successfully lose a cash in. I see I did the double negative one on you. But it's because Io Sky went against her. I wouldn't be shocked if they went that route.
I mean, stranger things have happened, but I think at this point right now, Bayley is in the I'm going to put people over category, which means I don't see her winning much of anything for the foreseeable future.
Hey, in this case, she puts not only Asuka over because she would lose the match, she's also putting Io over.
No, I agree. But you know what I'm saying. I don't think Bayley wins any important matches for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say. What I think we can say about these two Money in the Bank ladder matches, though, especially on this women's side, there is a lot more intriguing storylines going into the match that we don't necessarily see a lot. Sometimes it's just random competitors inside this match. We have a lot of intertwining storylines. And for that, it's been really interesting to see. But
I think you have a typo here on the graphic, but we'll deal with it later because I think you have a match in the wrong spot here. But we'll deal with it later.
Well, I didn't really necessarily put them in the...
Oh, I thought these are normally in the order that he wants them. And I see one match at the very bottom that I don't think is going to be the main event. And I'm like, wait. All right, so are we going to the next match?
Yeah, the next match, I think, is going to be the World Heavyweight Championship match between Seth freaking Rollins and Finn Balor. And I know I said I think I'm going to see a different Scotsman here. I didn't say I was going to see him in the ring or live. I think we're going to get a promo with him. Because in this match, I firmly believe JD McDonough is going to establish himself as part of the Judgment Day.
You realize JD McDonough is Irish, yes?
Yeah, I know, but people thought when I said Scotsman, they're referring to Drew McIntyre.
Yes, well,
I think we're going to get a promo saying he is coming back. I don't think he's actually going to appear. I just
Okay.
think we're going to see him being referenced and returning. JD McDonough has been teased about joining the Judgment Day for a while now. Almost every other Judgment Day member is busy with something else in terms of matches. Rhea Ripley is going to be side by side with Dominic Mysterio with Cody Rhodes. I don't think anyone is going to be on the side of Finn Balor going into this match. And that's where I think JD McDonough is going to align himself with Finn Balor at some point in this match. I still think Seth Rollins finds a way to win. I would not be surprised if this match doesn't end in a pinfall or submission and could end up as a DQ, setting up another match down the road. But the big tagline is JD McDonough is now a Judgment Day member.
I mean, yeah, sure, why not? I know JD McDonough doesn't necessarily want to be aligned with Finn Balor, doesn't necessarily need to. In his own personal mind, that's not something he's dying to do.
No.
He's
But Solo also said he didn't want to be in the Bloodline.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Just because Finn trained JD, he's made it clear. He's like, look, just because he trained me doesn't mean I need to be aligned with him. I'm more than happy to go about this on my own and do my own thing. I could see it. They've been teasing it for a while. They've been having segments with Finn Balor, with JD just watching the Judgment Day segments. There was a segment a few weeks ago where JD was directly talking to Finn.
Mm-hmm.
And they were talking about knowing where your friends are and this, that, and the other thing. And it's great. Like, I think that'd be fun. I think he would fit the Judgment Day very well. Judgment Day McDonough, JD McDonough. It all kind of works. I'd love to see, as much as I don't see Finn Balor winning. I don't. I don't see a world where it happens. I've said from the start of the World Heavyweight Championship being revealed that Finn Balor needed to be neither hide nor hair anywhere near this championship, that he was never going to win it anytime soon. And I agree. I don't think he's going to win it anytime soon. However, I think for the lulz, it'd be funny if he were to win it and Damian Priest were to cash in Money in the Bank. That's the only scenario. I agree. And that's the only scenario I see. Similar. That's the only scenario I see Finn Balor winning, is if WWE plans to do the swerve and put Damian Priest over and give Damian Priest the World Heavyweight Championship coming out of this show.
Okay. In the words of LA Knight, let me talk to you. On a watch along, I said, hey, wouldn't it be interesting if Finn Balor ended up losing this match against Seth Rollins, but earlier in the night, Damian Priest won Money in the Bank. We had that one promo, ironically enough, after Damian Priest came up to Finn Balor, who was talking with JD McDonough, and said, after asked, that he would not cash it on Finn Balor. What if Damian Priest cashes it in on Seth Rollins and we start seeing that divide between Damian Priest and Finn Balor? I'm now going to take it one step further and align everything I have just said. What if we see Seth Rollins, maybe even escaping Finn Balor, but we see JD McDonough come out, align himself with Finn Balor, and beat down Seth Rollins after the bell, only to allow Damian Priest now to cash in. And ironically enough, JD McDonough has done his service of helping out the Judgment Day by bringing the title back. It just wasn't a Finn Balor. Maybe the smokescreen here is Finn Balor, and the real target is Damian Priest.
Yeah, I could see that totally being the way to go with that. It is what it is. Like, at this point, I'd rather see Damian hold on to it for a while and cash in sometime around Royal Rumble, end of the year kind of thing. I think that's a better idea for him. But again, like the pull of having the Money in the Bank on Logan Paul, it makes a whole lot of sense that Seth Rollins has this championship, come May, when when Captain America Brave New World comes out, and they have Seth on red carpets with this world championship.
Yeah. He can always win it back. I don't think you need to have that movie ain't gonna come out for another year.
May. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean you have time to allow him to lose the title for a bit, only to regain it back later on. Again, we have a lot of big PLEs / pay-per-views where thank you, Becky, for saying on After the Bell that you still have a hard time calling it a PLE, because so do I, damn it. So do I. It's always a PPV to me. But yeah, I mean, I don't think it's out of the realm for them to use that as an option to catapult this title into a different atmosphere as well. So I don't disagree with you on that. But he can always lose it and then regain it back down the road.
But this is going to be a banger of a match. I mean, it's 7 years.
Yeah.
We've been waiting for this rematch for 7 years. Finn Balor, as he said, is an entirely new person since the man that lost 7 years ago, that had to relinquish the title 7 years ago, is dead and gone.
Yeah.
And now an even worse Finn Balor is in his place now. I'm super excited for this match. I hope that Seth Rollins does a very, very careful and safe buckle bomb in this match at some point, and that I want Finn to sell it like he's dead to the world and then go and evilly attack Seth Rollins for about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I can't pick against Seth Rollins this early in his championship reign.
I think that's something that a lot of people are bored with Roman Reigns, and that is they can't see anybody beating Roman Reigns unless it's like the obvious. I think this is a time to really book this championship in a position where storylines, it all makes sense, it all fits. There's unexpected moments and memories, and that's, I think, an unexpected memory would be an early Money in the Bank cash-in that makes sense to establish somebody different. I think that helps the aura of this title. I wouldn't bet against it. However,
I agree. I'm not against the idea of Seth Rollins losing the title. And I see plenty of people that can beat Seth Rollins. I just don't see anybody on the roster that beats Seth Rollins in the next 60 days. I think that this title needs... I think this title needs a little bit of stability. And I think the first thing you do when you have a new title is make sure that you have a champion who holds that title for a month or two.
Yeah. Time will tell. The one thing I am interested in, non-match related, I want to hear how loud the O2 Arena is singing that song.
You know what? I have something to say. I said it in one of my Discords that I listen to. And I'm going to rant about it a little bit here.
Ooh, Ed Rant. I'm going to mute myself for this.
So, we talked about how much we loved the Canadian crowd for Forbidden Door. Forbidden Door Canadian crowd has been widely said to have been a fantastic crowd. We all ranted and raved about how well the crowd was in Puerto Rico for that show there, Backlash. It was fantastic. The Saudi crowd was pretty darn good when we went to Saudi for Night of Champions. I hate the UK crowd. I can't stand watching UK shows for one reason, and one reason alone. When Bayley's in the ring, they only sing that fucking song. I sat there and watched SmackDown tonight and heard them sing that godforsaken fucking horrible song over and over, louder than the announcers, so I couldn't hear the announcers call the action for a shitty match that I didn't even want to watch between Bayley and Shotzi Blackheart, because of the fact that all they were doing was singing that godforsaken shitty song. I hate the UK crowds for their sing-song bullshit. They only want to get themselves over with it. I hate it. It comes from soccer crowds, and I hate it, and I want it to stop. So UK crowds, do better. Stop singing. Just sing the songs like you're supposed to sing when Seth comes out. Sing the song when Nakamura comes out. And then shut up and cheer and have chants. But don't have a fucking sing-song during my wrestling matches.
This rant has been brought to you by our local establishment where Ed fries went a little cuckoo in his opinion.
We need to have a little disclaimer at the bottom as I do my rants. These rants are the opinion of Ed Fries and solely Ed Fries. They're not the opinions of our
also, Astrid, if you can, text one buddy. 58 minutes, 30 seconds. But, I mean, I guess you don't like the, hey, we want some Bailey. Ooh.
Oh, look, Parish's mic has randomly stopped working. Ain't that a shame?
Ed, I can do that to you too.
That's fine.
But this is petty, and we know where we came from. We don't do that no more. But, yeah, no, this match is going to be a banger. It's going to be an absolute...
yeah, it's going to be...
Might actually be the best match of the night when it comes to pure wrestling.
Yeah.
And because of that, the emotion's there, the history's there. I honestly think these two are going to be clipped together or connected together, for the rest of their careers because they just have immaculate chemistry. And I just hope that the next time we see this match, it's even bigger than what it is. But this is going to be amazing, off the charts.
By the way, I also think this is the SummerSlam match, to be honest. I think this is the WWE SummerSlam match for the World Heavyweight Championship. I think there's a rematch when I think Damian Priest might be involved, too.
Yeah, I mean...
Because Cody's occupied, so Cody's not going to be in the match.
The only thing I can think of is if Seth wins this match, they are 1-1, and they would have to do that rubber match.
Yeah. And they don't have to, but I really want them to.
Yeah, come on. Anyway, I think moving on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Next thing, I mean, it's going to be great. But
one judgment day star to another.
No, because it's all but confirmed at this point that Roman Reigns will not main event Money in the Bank.
I'll still believe it when I see it. When people tell me Roman Reigns ain't main eventing, I'm like, I'll believe it when I see it.
I am going with the semi-main event here. Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa versus Jimmy and Jay, the Usos, in the Bloodline Civil War tag match. This, if we want to talk about storyline, if we want to talk about emotional investment, if we want to talk about cinema dramatic at its finest, the Bloodline has been kicking our ass for the last 3 years. This match is not only family versus family, it's actually two brothers versus one brother and one cousin. Technically.
Yeah.
And it is going to be one of the most entertaining matches we see this. It just will. You know something big's going to happen because it's the Bloodline. Something big always happens. And I'm just going to get what I think is going to happen out of the way. Solo Sikoa turns on Roman Reigns and joins the Usos. After Roman Reigns wins this match.
After Roman wins.
Mm-hmm.
On the Ol'Ed Twitch, I have just put out a poll to see what the people think is going to be the result of this match. Because we have that ability. I think the Usos win this one. I think the Usos do exactly what they say they were going to do. I think that Jey Uso pins Roman Reigns tomorrow night.
That is one thing I surely hope I see.
I think that this is the best way to have somebody beat Roman Reigns and have it make sense, to have it fit the story, and to have Roman be more than happy to do the job. Because I think Roman would have done the job for so many people so far in this storyline that he would have gladly lost by pinfall at some point to do this. But I think right now, with where everything is, and that this being a tag team match, there is no better time to pin Roman Reigns than right now. What's up, Dar Amazing? How are you tonight? Tell us what you think in the chat, and tell us what you think, and go ahead and vote in the poll about who you think is going to win this match. I have the Usos pinning Roman Reigns. More specifically, I have Jey Uso pinning Roman Reigns. Perish has Roman Reigns pinning one of the Usos.
Jimmy. I think Roman Reigns pins Jimmy because I think they save Jey and Roman.
For SummerSlam.
Because, you just can't. You just can't spoil this right away. And that's the thing. SummerSlam's right around the corner. Also, before I get to anything, I just want to point out the comments here. We got You're Amazing also coming in. I'm doing good. Plus, I think Roman and Solo get the win. Hell yeah. She's on my side. He's on my side, sorry. For Bayley 1991, this is the next to last match. It'll take all the air out of the arena before a main event with Cody and Dom. Perhaps.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Like, I know that they've talked about having something big planned for Cody and Dom. And let's be honest, it's a big thing named Brock Lesnar. Let's
100%.
There's no joking here. There's no veiled things. Brock's coming back because they're doing Cody Brock 3 at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
We all know it's going to happen. I think that happens in the semi-main. And I think you try to tire out the crowd. Because this is a match that no matter how big the match before it is, this match can carry along over that line. So if you put Dom and Cody there, and you have the crowd booing Dom out of the building like they're going to do, that you can still get the crowd back up for this match in the main event. But, like I said, I could see this opening the show.
If you ask me, the only match that should main event this is the only world title in
but they won't.
The show. No. And to me, that is one of the biggest mistakes they're doing with this title is by not making it a main event title. They're amazing. It is never too late to bring in your prediction. That is what this is all about.
Nobody put their predictions in, so I'm going to try it one more time.
Yeah. But, no, I think this match is just going to be absolutely amazing in every single way. You're going to get nothing but drama. You're going to get nothing but cinema excellence. You're going to get probably one of the best performances out of the Usos you'll ever see, and that is saying a lot because, in my personal opinion, they are the greatest tag team of the modern era, and they are a top 3 tag team all time.
All right, so the poll's back up again.
And I think when it's all said and done, they could be number 1. Yeah. But Roman Reigns right now, I think is on still a streak that is unbelievable. Solo Sikoa to me is the X factor in everything.
Did you see the way Solo looked at him?
Oh, that
Roman
tease!
Laughed?
That tease on SmackDown was everything I needed to see to understand that Solo Sikoa could very well be the reason why Jey Uso defeats Roman Reigns for that championship.
So, to put it out there for those who haven't watched the show, spoilers, yada yada. Tonight in the main event segment, you had the Bloodline Civil War face to face. And you had the Usos come to the ring at one point. And they were like, look, we don't acknowledge you. We don't acknowledge you as a tribal chief. You aren't our tribal chief. We aren't that. We aren't that. You know what, though? We do acknowledge somebody who could be the tribal chief. I don't want to be the tribal chief. Jimmy J don't want to be the tribal chief. But we know somebody who could. And they both stand and say nothing and look directly at Solo Sikoa. And Roman laughs, like belly laughs in the ring, thinking this is the funniest thing he's ever heard.
After giving you the look like he just took a gigantic dump in his pants because he was scared. After.
Well, he does that after the belly laugh because he then looks to Solo Sikoa, who does not look thrilled to see Roman Reigns laughing.
Yeah.
And you got Roman Reigns' cry face, and it was fantastic.
I don't know if there's a better individual performer right now that has better facials in professional wrestling than Roman Reigns does right now.
Yeah, I think Roman Reigns is king of the facials right now.
Dear Amazing says, I hope we get a Bloodway 4-way at SummerSlam. Now that would be interesting. Whereas before Bailey 91 says, if Solo left for Roman for the Usos, do you ever see Paul Heyman leaving Roman at some point? Yeah. I mean, when he loses the title.
I was just say, Paul will eventually leave Roman like he's left everybody else. That's not a... Like, Roman's not going to wrestle the rest of his career with Paul Heyman by his side.
Wouldn't be the first time Paul Heyman left somebody because they lost the title.
No, it wouldn't.
Or even turn on somebody to have them lose the title. I very much would not be shocked if Paul Heyman is the one to help Cody Rhodes beat Roman Reigns for the championship later on.
Maybe. I don't know. That's getting too far in the grass.
Yeah, but
back to the Fatal 4-Way. I don't want the Fatal 4-Way for one reason. The storyline's been built for Roman versus Jay. If anybody's going to wrestle Roman for the title anymore, I think it needs to be Jay. The only caveat to that would have been, and this is where I think they really messed up with the Money in the Bank. I really think they messed up with Money in the Bank in a couple ways. One, I would have had Dominic Mysterio in that shit.
Yeah.
I would have had Ricochet or Nakamura out of that match, and I would have had Dominic Mysterio in there. Secondly, and more importantly, I would have had Solo Sikoa in that match.
Interesting. I would have put AJ Styles.
Nope, I would have put Solo... And here's why I say Solo Sikoa. Because I think you could have done Roman Reigns versus Jimmy Uso at Money in the Bank. And I would say that you then have Roman continue to beat Jimmy after he wins. And beat him down, and beat him down, and beat him down. And then that's when Jay gets back in there. And that's honestly where I would have had Jay turn. I would have had Jay turn here as opposed to 2 weeks ago. I would have had Jay turn here and turn on Roman Reigns and save his brother. And then you build to Jay versus Roman at SummerSlam with, in my mind, Solo Sikoa holding that briefcase. And if you want to pull the trigger on Solo Sikoa versus Roman, that you do it that way. Because I think the best way to get that title off of Roman is with a cash-in, and whether it be by Jay or having Jey Uso win it outright.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually disagree with that. I think the best way is having somebody outright beat him for it. I think that's the only way you end this type of incredible reign from Roman. There's just no, like, I don't know. I think it has to be definitive. I think it has to be unanimous. I don't think there should be any question marks left when Roman Reigns loses that championship. And a Money in the Bank, I think, does that.
I could see Solo coming up to him being like, guess what? Me and you, tonight. And just handing the briefcase over. Like, I could see him doing it like that, as opposed to doing like a Roman gets beat down, then there's a cash in. I could see it being at the beginning of the show, on a SmackDown, on a big SmackDown where they need a number, they go ahead and Solo goes, guess what? I'm cashing in.
Yeah, I just don't think the Money in the Bank touches Roman Reigns this year.
I definitely don't think it touches Roman Reigns. I don't think anything touches Roman Reigns this year or any year.
No, I just don't think anything with the Money in the Bank. I don't think it goes in the direction of Roman Reigns. I think that's all designed for Seth Rollins and his World Heavyweight Championship. I just can't see a cash in and Roman right now. We've been teased about it for 3 years.
Well, no, I agree, and that's why I think that's why they don't have Solo Sikoa in this match. Yeah. That's why you don't have Cody Rhodes in this match, because you don't have the cash in.
Well, and if we want to go there, we don't have a Gunther, we don't have an AJ Styles, all guys that still have the capability of having legitimate moments with Roman Reigns.
I mean, I think if Gunther and Roman Reigns are going to have their moment, it's going to be over 12 to 14 to 18, 24 months from now.
I mean, that could very well be your WrestleMania 40 main event.
No. I think if Gunther goes for a title at Mania, it's Seth Rollins.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying I think Gunther wins
or Cody, whoever's holding the World Heavyweight Championship, I would say. Uh-huh. But we've talked about Solo, we talked about Roman, we talked about the Usos. It's been a while. Let's get this on and over with. We got one more match.
Yeah. And we
have punchable face in wrestling, Dominic Mysterio versus Hey London. What you want to talk about? Cody Rhodes.
I don't think Dom has the most punchable face in wrestling. I think he has the most punchable face in WWE.
No. I'm looking right at it, and I still want to punch it.
But, I mean, I don't know.
Most punchable face in wrestling, I'm telling you. In Edwards, in Ol'Ed's humble opinion.
Okay, there we go.
Most punchable face in wrestling.
Yeah, this is definitely a moment in time. Like, think about this. This is definitely the biggest match of Dominic Mysterio's career to date.
By far, in a way.
Yeah. If this is the main event, it's very much rumored to be the main event. This is a gigantic opportunity for Dominic Mysterio. And here is what I think, people. He wins.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think he wins because of anything he does, but yes, I think he wins.
He never wins because of anything he does.
I think he wins because Brock Lesnar does.
Yeah, and this is the best part about it. We have every other member of Judgment Day somehow eliminated from the equation. And we think for the first time ever, Dominic Mysterio is going to get the living snot kicked out of him until we get a returning Brock Lesnar that somehow doesn't care for Dominic Mysterio, but does care about beating up Cody Rhodes. And Dominic, you know what I love?
What's that?
A finish where you know the heel doesn't do anything, it still gets the win.
Oh, yeah.
I reminisced that first ever Hell in a Cell match with Shawn Michaels and Undertaker, where Kane debuted, beat up the Undertaker, and crawling in a pool of his own blood, Shawn Michaels just put his arm over the Undertaker for the 1, 2, 3. And I think that's exactly what's going to happen here in this match.
We have Bayley saying, putting aside the Brock Lesnar for a moment, does Rhea Ripley interfere in this match? Absolutely. I absolutely think she gets involved. I mean,
I think she might get ejected from this match.
I was going to say, I think so too. I don't think she lasts the entire match. I think she gets kicked out at some point.
Yeah. I honestly believe at some point in this match, Dom is faced to go at Cody alone. And just when you think he's done for, we get Saskatchewan's own Brock Lesnar.
I have another question for you, and it's another one of those what-if kind of questions. Mm-hmm. Do you think we get the WWE return of Eden Styles, a.k.a. Brandy Rhodes, at this match? Do you think that she's the one who gets rid of Rhea Ripley at ringside?
I hope not. And that might be the nicest way I could say it.
Oh, I agree. I don't want to see Brandy. That being said, we saw Pharaoh on Raw.
I know.
And where Pharaoh goes...
I mean, they were in Georgia, though, where
agree.
Cody lives.
I'm just saying, when Pharaoh shows up in a company, Brandy Rhodes isn't far behind. Brandy's about to have another open mic night, bitch. Brandy's horrible at this whole in-ring stuff. But that being said, I could see Rhea getting involved and Brandy being on the other side of the apron and climbing over and getting in Rhea's face and dragging themselves to the back. I don't want to say that Brandy gets the better of Rhea Ripley because that's not going to happen. But I could definitely see them fighting their way to the back to get Rhea away from ringside.
I think there's going to be an opportunity to come where I wouldn't even be shocked to see Cody Rhodes bait Rhea in, and kind of very much similar, in a similar way of how Seth Rollins did it to get Judgment Day kicked out and Rhea Ripley kicked out.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be very much. Cody is on the top of his game. Dominic Mysterio is going to look vulnerable as he ever has. And then the most unthinkable person to help Dominic Mysterio will help Dominic Mysterio.
I don't know if he's going to help Dominic Mysterio as much as he's going to hurt Cody Rhodes.
Hey, by indirect means, that's helping Dominic Mysterio.
I know. I'm just saying.
I know.
But folks, that is Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
To go over it again, Perish has Dominic Mysterio, Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa, Seth freaking Rollins.
Yep.
Trish Stratus via Zoe Stark.
Yeah.
Gunther.
Yeah.
Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey.
Mm-hmm.
And Damian Priest.
Yeah.
I have Dominic Mysterio, Jimmy and Jay Uso, Seth freaking Rollins, Io Sky, Gunther, Shayna Baszler and Name Redacted, and Damian Priest. Dara Amazing has Cody winning. I would like Cody to win. I mean, I'm sure he's going to attack both of them. But I think it's going to be the refs down, Brock comes out, F5s them both, and then grabs Dominic Mysterio by the shitty little hair that he has on his shitty little head and just tosses him on top of Cody for the win.
The one thing I could see is if he just gives Cody Rhodes a bunch of suplexes with like a ref out. Maybe maybe the ref is busy trying to move Rhea out of the ring, or there's a melee with the Judgment Day and somebody else. Yep. I don't know. Or maybe gets knocked out. But I think it's a suplex, city, boom, F5, multiple F5s to Cody. Dom's laughing. He gets F5, but somehow he's F5'd on Cody Rhodes. The ref
now, is it going to be the F5 or is it going to be the deep sea diverticulitis?
The F5.
All right, I just want to make sure because, the movie's apparently called both things because Kevin O's a cheeky little chap over in PWG. Dar Amazing says he has Io Sky, LA Knight, Gunther, Shayna and Ronda, Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes, and Roman and Solo. But that has been Pay-Per Previews. Mm-hmm. Thank you for joining us. Perish, where can the good people find you in your watch-along tomorrow night?
Yeah, if you want to come and watch a couple of idiots, including myself, watch some Money in the Bank, come check out twitch.tv/TheChrisParish, as there will be a watch-along reactionary video that has not only myself, but Chris Best, Mark Talks Wrestling, and the voice Joshua Joseph, and who knows, potentially more. All you have to do is let me know. And yeah, we're going to have some fun with Money in the Bank. And directly following that, you're going to watch our local establishment with paper reviews as the panel discusses the PLE that was Money in the Bank.
And of course, you can find me on Twitter at EdFries12584. You can find me on Twitch at EdFries2002, where I do gaming content, mostly Marvel Snap and WWE 2K23. Right now, 2K23 is off commission, as I cannot get my controller to work after the last Wrestle Draft, and I'm still, 2 days later, having issues getting my controller to work. You can also find me every Tuesday night talking all things NXT on Taking Over with Ashton Pizarro. This week we will be talking about the July 4th taped edition of NXT, which will include the Loser Leaves NXT match between the Schisms Dyad and the Creed Brothers. We have other matches on that show as well, but you can go ahead and join us Tuesday night after NXT to find out what we think about that. Also, you can find me most Wednesdays doing Wrestle Draft. It'll be on a different day this week. And you also can find me most days on Wednesdays doing Marvel Talk with my man Andre C. Both of those things will be on another day this week, as both Andre C. and Chris Perish will be at AEW Dynamite live from the YEG this upcoming Wednesday night. But don't you worry, because coming soon to a Twitch channel near you is going to be Ashton Pizarro and myself talking TakeOver, as we go ahead and recap all of the NXT shows that were called TakeOver or that preceded TakeOver, starting with Arrival and going from there. You can go ahead and catch all of those reviews either on the Our Local Establishment channel or on our own Twitch channels, which you can find very easily. But for myself, Ol'Ed.
Hold on. If everyone's watching our local establishment on the Twitch, we will be rating The Lounge.
All right.
So just let you know.
Nice.
Ed, now you can continue.
For Ol'Ed, for my tag team partner, the Chris Perish, we will join you next time. So have a great night, and we'll see you soon. Goodbye. Hold on. Forgot the button.